Donate every penny is going to help the children here, which is very important. One of the children here who's getting so much help from Meeting Street, her name is Danica, and I understand that, Karen, you're standing by with her family right now.
Yes, I am, Erin. Look who just popped in. I've just been walking around in the background. Bev Brindle is my buddy, and you've been with Meeting Street 43 years. 43 years. I knew it a long time, but we called each other and said, let's do a purple thing tonight. Anyway, you know, you obviously love your job, or you wouldn't be here for as long as you've been here.
You are right. And I think some of the reasons that we love a job like this is because you get to work with families like Danica and her parents. You come into, when you're working on early intervention, you kind of come into people's lives at a point in time when they're facing challenges that they never expected to have as part of their journey. And when you're with them and you can really help them deal with that, it's just a wonderful feeling. You know,
Don't smash the microphone when you talk. Don't smash the microphone when you're talking. But you know, your face lights up because I met Eric and Don today, and you just started talking about them, and your face lit up. So I know how proud you are of this family, and we're talking about this angel here, Danica, who is just the sweetest thing on the planet. But Don, introduce the rest of your family, and we're going to talk about Danica.
All right, this is Danica, of course. My husband Eric, my son Dylan, and my daughter Gianna.
Hi, Gianna. Now, how did you come to Meeting Street? How did this happen?
We came to Meeting Street when Danica was diagnosed with Aicardi Syndrome at 5 weeks old. We were given a packet of papers of what to expect for syndrome, none of which seemed to be a positive note. In that packet was an early intervention flyer of Meeting Street School, and I immediately, after reading Danica's syndrome, decided we needed to be there.
And this is so rare, such an extremely rare.
Yes. Danica is about one of 1,000 girls in the world with her syndrome. And she has so far proven to be one of the miracle children of her syndrome, doing things that we were told she would most likely never do.
And what are some of those things?
Some of those things include crawling, sitting up, holding her head, eating normal foods, and just being alive.
That's amazing. Dan, you know, you've been holding Danica and you just smile and you say this really has been a miracle for you here at Meeting Street.
Yeah, we love Meeting Street so much. It's really a blessing in our life. My wife said it the best. We weren't given a good outlook, and with her therapy, she's able to crawl now. And she's able to eat normal foods and stand up almost unassisted, and she's doing fantastic thanks to Meeting Street. And I don't think she'd be anywhere near where she is now without the help of Bev and Heather and Pam and Karen. I mean, all of our therapists they think of her as their own daughter, and they really love her, and they really take us into and show us different ways to help her every day, and it really is a blessing in our life.
Big brother, what do you think? Well, how have you seen a difference in your little sister?
She's just grown mobile, and she's always smiling and happy. She's never down, and I just love her with all my heart.
What about big sister? Good to see her, so happy. And it is amazing. And you said you've also found, or someone else has found you that also has the same.
Just this week, due to the telethon and Danica, being one of the children being featured in the telethon, we were approached by another family that their daughter has Aicardi syndrome. We thought we were the only ones in the whole state of Rhode Island, so we look forward to getting to know that family so that we can talk and understand each other.
Okay. Another reason why we're here tonight for this telethon is Danica and this family and the wonderful things that Meeting Street does. We want you to learn a little bit more about Danica, so take a look at this story.
Meet Danica. Danica has been a Meeting Street child since she was 3 months old.
Danica is a happy little
Very
child.
happy.
very happy little child. I was pregnant with Danica. It was a normal, healthy pregnancy. 5 months when we did our first ultrasound, the ultrasound tech noticed a little extra fluid in her brain and recommended we go for a level 2 ultrasound. At that ultrasound, they informed us that she had an arachnoid cyst up in the top of her brain. So we brought her home, and for about 4 or 5 weeks, she seemed to be doing everything a normal little baby did. She cried when she was hungry, and she learned how to smile at 4 weeks. At 5 weeks old, we noticed her doing some funny little twitching motion where she kind of seemed like she was out in space a little bit, so we immediately brought her to Hasbro. They hooked her up to an EEG machine the next morning, and it was determined that she was experiencing seizures. They kept her, and they did some more testing. They wanted to find out what exactly the cause of, all these brain malformations and all those things. They wanted to determine the cause for it and a diagnosis for her. And then they did an eye exam to either rule out or give us the diagnosis of Aicardi Syndrome. And that was the sure sign for the diagnosis for Aicardi Syndrome. We were basically told that our daughter would, if she was lucky, would be able to chew and swallow food. And that talking, sitting, wasn't likely for her. And then we were told on the next page that the average life expectancy of a child with Aicardi syndrome is to be 8 years old.
The first 4 weeks of her life, she was, in our view, a perfectly healthy little baby.
There were a couple of days of devastation, I think, for our family, where everybody just cried. And then we all kind of snapped out of it and said, this is not how we're going to let our daughter live. We're not going to let her live by a diagnosis. And we're going to do everything and anything to give her the best possible life that we could give her, no matter how long it's going to be. Because you kind of realize at that point, not everybody is guaranteed tomorrow. That's when we called Meeting Street. I think Danica was about 3 months old by the time we had gotten her enrolled into therapy. And from that moment on, we have decided that whatever early intervention has to offer, that any therapist feels Danica could benefit from, we're there, we're involved. We want her there, we want her to get every possible benefit that she can get.
We had a couple of the caseworkers and therapists come out to the house for the evaluation, and when they left, I think Dawn and I looked at each other and we were like, wow, these people really cared, and they really made us feel like they're going to do everything in their power to help her develop, however much it could be. And immediately the next day they called back and they scheduled some other therapists, evaluations for different things. And I have to say, for me personally, we knew right away that anything Meeting Street can offer us, we're there.
From the beginning, we could see that she had potential to learn, but it was difficult for her. It was very slow. Her physical therapist, Bev, had worked with her on learning how to roll over from the moment she stepped foot into this house when Danica was 3 or 4 months old. And it was about 2 or 3 months later when we were finally sitting here one day and we watched her roll over for the first time. It finally got to the point where we were getting her to sit, and we would sit here with the therapist and count how many seconds she could sit unassisted before falling over, and each time it got a little bit longer and a little bit longer. We got involved more with Meeting Street and early intervention, and we started going to the music groups. Everything that the therapists were working with her, she was picking up instantly, and she was sitting, and then she learned how to get herself from sit to lay down.
For her syndrome, that's a
huge accomplishment. A huge accomplishment for her to become independent and mobile. We definitely owe that to her therapist, because we're parents, but we wouldn't have known how to teach a child with special needs how to learn to roll over, or how to learn to sit up. We didn't realize that there were steps, that each movement was a step for a child to learn.
The therapists and everyone at Meeting Street, I think they get it. it's very hard for the parents to deal with a special needs child. When you talk to the staff at Meeting Street, it's you really see that they care about you. She loves going to music class with all the other kids. When Beverly comes in this afternoon, she has the one-on-one, and she really works her. You know, and the pool therapy on Wednesdays is she loves the kids and she loves the pool. Obviously, we can't do that here in the winter.
We feel that Danica will be an exception to the Aicardi Syndrome, and we know that at Meeting Street she'll definitely get the physical therapies as well as the academic learning capabilities.
You want to go to Meeting Street? You do?
Absolutely other reason to pick up the phone and call after watching that with Danica. Absolutely beautiful, and how far she's come along. We got about 1 minute left for the Citizens Bank Challenge. They have put up $15,000. Lucille Cavan from Citizens Bank is